Well, hey guys, Tina here on Rainy Ridge. So Monday, I showed you my video of building a coffee board. So we got it all built. Now it's time to finish it. Stick around.
And you're live.
Hey guys, so I've got most of everything sanded down just to a 60 grit, and I've come across a little problem. The coffee beans are a little close to the surface to keep sanding, and so, which I'm still going to sand here, which I'm going to sand another layer here, another grit. I've got a little bit of CA glue on here to fill a little oopsie with the epoxy that I had. So I'm going to route out my edges, and then I'm going to sand that down. So you can see over here too. They're a little close. So to fix that, I don't normally like doing a flood coat, pouring the epoxy completely over the whole thing, but that's what we're going to do to salvage this. So stick around, I'm going to get the router and go around and do a round over on the edges, and we'll go from there. We'll turn over, we'll do the bottom first. Actually, I think I want that just a little bit deeper there. First, I'll get me a scrap piece and see if that's down to where I like it. That ought to do it. Just a little deeper. All right, let's give this a shot again. I didn't tell you before, this part's really messy. All right. And on to the top side. All right, let's see if we can get some of this mess going. Okay, so I've got my edges all routed out, and I'm going to sand down to an 80 grit, and then we're going to go with the flood coat from there. So, as I said earlier, there's a couple of the beans here on the top that are too close. It didn't focus very well. And then here on the sides. So I'm going to do a flood coat. Not always a fan of doing a flood coat. I like the natural wood to show. But I want to salvage this board, so yeah, if I keep sanding, I'm going to sand plumb down into those beans, and we don't want that. So I've already mixed up a batch of epoxy. You've all seen me mix epoxy before, so if you've not, I'm sure you've watched YouTube and seen others do it. So we're hopefully ready for a mess. Actually, why don't I get another... Well, I thought I had another. Oh, and it's covered in sawdust. Now I gotta change my gloves.
I'd appreciate how all scratched up it is, and then you put the epoxy on it and clears right back up.
This is why I made sure to remember my gloves today. This part's a mess.
It's like kindergarten art class.
Yep.
With finger paints.
Hopefully I can keep it on the silicone mat there, which I've dribbled it on the table before, but let's hope I don't just keep doing it.
Only once or twice a dozen times.
Once or twice a dozen. So we're going to make sure this is all covered good, and then we'll just kind of let it roll over the top. And hopefully with it being the fast cure, it won't take forever. I don't think I got enough over there. And then once this is cured, I'll just do a very light, probably a brush-on coat on the bottom. All right. Now I'm going to take my torch, try to get out of these gloves. Because there is micro bubbles in there, and let's try to get rid of those. In which there's micro bubbles down in there that's come up from the coffee beans, but there's nothing we can do about those right now.
A little too late.
Right now, at all.
Just don't have to live with them.
All right. You want that way or this way? I think this way.
However you want it.
Okay, so like I said, I learned why Eric didn't like bending the spoons because they're not easy to bend.
Sucks.
But I think while the epoxy is wet, I have never tried this before, so yeah. It looks like there's a bubble on that bean. So I'm going to set these in. Let's hope I get them even. Actually, that spoon looks like, and I bumped it. Okay. So I'm going to set these in the epoxy so maybe they'll stick a little better, be a little easier to get the screws in. A little added security there. They look even.
I can't tell.
Well, how do they look?
Like spoons on a board.
Ha ha ha. Bent spoons on a board?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to let the epoxy set. Hopefully we don't have to do another flood coat. I'm going to kind of babysit it for a little bit. Hopefully, we'll probably wait till tomorrow. We'll go ahead and add in some screws into the handles. Make sure they're stuck good. And then I'll refinish the bottom. Because, yeah, I'm going to have drips and stuff that's coming off here. Which I'm going to try to wipe those off best I can. Get us a popsicle stick and hopefully that'll keep us from having too big a mess. Like I said, once the top is all cured, we'll redo. It's hard to do when you can't see it. And I see an air bubble coming up. Oh, a couple of them. There's one, and there's one.
So in the meantime, we'll be back when we're
Cured.
so.
Hopefully.
Yep.
Where'd I put the lid? All right, let's hope that's hot enough.
So satisfying. Yeah, looks so messy right now, but sand it out and it'll look good.
Hopefully you'll be able to read it.
Yeah.
Do you want a brand while we're at it? It's got your name on it.
I think I'm good.
All right, that's nice and cool. But we've got to sand these bumps off too. And hopefully you'll be a little bit easier to read. So they're sanded smooth, but not great. But I want to do one more flood coat on the top. Before I finish the bottom. So like before, I'm going to take my piece of sandpaper and scuff this up. The extra flood coat hopefully will help secure the spoons a little well. But I think they're on there really good. I don't even have to put screws in. Therefore, I want to do an extra flood coat just to make sure. All right, let's clean up a little bit here. There goes the house again. And like that, I think we're going to sit and wait. Give it a little bit of a torch every now and then. And we'll go from there. So we're all cured. And I think to protect the front, I'm going to decided to turn it upside down in the mold. And that way we can sand this off. And I'm going to paint a very thin layer of epoxy over the top to protect it. So let's get it sanded. I gotta get the air hose and blow it off.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, so I've got the top is done, and I don't want to have the epoxy roll over onto the side because then I'm going to have a mess on the top again. So I'm just going to paint a very thin layer over the top. That way to kind of protect it, have it sealed. But yet not enough to where it runs all over the place. It's kind of weird since it's odd shaped with the balancing on the handles. My little raccoon doesn't come through quite as well as I'd hoped. I'm gonna have to look into getting a new branding iron. Okay, I think other than the feet, which we'll have to wait till this is cured. I think other than the feet, that's about all we got left. I think I'll use this extra epoxy. I made a little coaster to go on top, hopefully to match. I might put just a little bit of that brown and put in the middle there. Probably wouldn't be enough to cover if I put some beans in it. We'll see. All right. And once again, now we wait.
Hang on to your tater tots. Well, hey guys, I changed.
I'm going to be nice, but I'm going to let Eric work a little bit on the board.
Let's start and grab a coffee bean instead of a screw. Still reaching for coffee beans.
Yay!
Alrighty.
Now all we got to do is wait for that epoxy to fully cure, and we can flip it over, and we'll be done.
Oh.
So, I think it's time we can flip it over and see the finished product. If I can get it out of the mold here. Let's move this. Set that there. Ta-da! And I made a little coaster to go on there with coffee beans in it.
Yay.
So guys, thanks for sticking along with this, and I hope y'all like it. Y'all have a great day, and come back and see what we get into next time.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.